Minari is a 2020 A24 film that's written and directed by Lee Isaac Chung and stars Steven Yeun. So, Minari is a huge film that's been getting a gigantic amount of buzz coming out of film festivals. And obviously that's going to excite me because not only do I just really admire and love A24 as a production and distribution studio, but the fact that it's also combined with getting a bunch of buzz at film festivals, that's obviously going to get me really hyped for watching this film. And I unfortunately wasn't able to watch this film back in 2020 because I just didn't really have access to it. But through very treacherous ways, I was able to get my hands on this film. And here's the thing about this film. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it to death. And it's definitely worth all the hype. And all of the buzz was completely justified. This is a film that lived up to every expectation that I had going into it. And again, that can be really dangerous going into a film because if you have too high expectations, sometimes your expectations are way too high that the film just couldn't possibly meet it no matter how good it was. But that's just not the case with this film. This is a film that really blew me away in a lot of different ways. I guess the best categorization I can give this film is that it's a slice of life drama type of film with some comedy sprinkled in it. And the slice of life genre, I guess if you want to call it a genre, is a filmmaking approach that I've kind of had my skepticism with because there are some films coming out of film festivals in the past that have gotten lots of praise that are slice of life that I thought were solid, but I really just wasn't in love with them as most people were. But this, I think, is the slice of life film that I think I was looking for quite some time. All of the characters in this film come off incredibly genuine and interesting. And it's like they're all kind of going through their own struggles, while a good handful of them are kind of also going through this identity struggle. And that's something that I can kind of relate to, because when you are the children of immigrant parents, you are kind of having this identity battle with yourself because you have the cultural part of your family that is kind of encouraging you to get in touch with that side of yourself. But you're obviously being raised in a society, in a culture, in the current country that you're living in, that is entirely different. And it's kind of like that thing to where you kind of lose no matter what, because if your personality shows too much of one side, you get criticized of not being enough of the other side. And I like the way that was conveyed in this film and explored, especially with the children. Steven Yeun's character in this film essentially decides to take this gigantic leap out of his comfort zone and try to build this more independent life and self-sustainable life that is a bit more ambitious and takes a lot more self-investment. And obviously there's a lot of risks that come to that, especially considering that you have a responsibility to take care of your family. And I love how through his character, the film really makes the audience think about whether or not he's being selfish or whether or not he's entitled to really make this leap and not only make a better life for himself, but also for his family. And I just love the way that that entire theme was demonstrated in this film, because it is a very subtle film. This film is not very preachy at all, even though it does cover really important topics, like exploring what rural American culture is like, exploring a culture clash, also dives into religious beliefs quite a bit. But again, it does all this stuff in a way that doesn't feel like this film is being really preachy and kind of telling you what to believe about it. It's a very nuanced film, and it's really simplistic. And that's one thing that I really loved about it, because this film doesn't seem like it's really trying too hard to demonstrate these themes to you, but yet you feel like you just got a lot out of it, which is something that is incredibly complicated to do, but yet this filmmaker really achieved it. Well, we can't talk about this film without discussing the aesthetic quality of this film. The camera work in this film, in terms of how it captures nature, just the nature shots in this film I thought were absolutely breathtaking. Just to the way that this film was shot, you feel like you can really experience this environment, and it really allows you to see the appeal that this kind of environment has. But I also really love the musical score to this film. The score to this film feels so melancholy but uplifting at the same time. In a way, it feels a bit angelic, but it's also incredibly traditional. Like, most of it is just through the use of piano, but there's this kind of extra touch to it that makes it feel really heartwarming and inviting. And there are moments in this film, there's just one moment in particular in the third act of this film that has to deal with the young boy here. And I won't spoil it or anything, but there's this moment that his character has. And the way that the musical score accompanied that scene and the way that it was shot, that's what tears are made of. And it's not because of anything tragic or anything that's being manipulative, but it's just the way that it was captured. And I could see a lot of people falling in love with that scene and just really falling in love with this film in general. And another plus that this film kind of has is that it's not really predictable. And when this film was first being established in the first act, I kind of thought I knew where it was going to head with a certain character, but it headed in a different direction that I didn't quite expect. And I really love that about this film as well, because I feel like it really subverted my expectations in the best way possible and made it that much more original and made it feel that much more authentic as well. Because that's one of the biggest compliments I give this film, is that it feels incredibly genuine and authentic. You're never really reminded that you're watching a film. There's maybe a few comedic moments that kind of feel like a movie moment, but most of that feels natural as well, and it didn't take me out. I thought it was pretty funny. But either way, this is a film that I truly enjoyed. I could see myself making a video essay on this, so maybe soon I'll try to whip up a video essay and make a little analysis on it and talk about a certain topic. Because I feel like this film is not only going to be loved by critics, but it also seems like a crowd pleaser as well. I can see pretty much anybody watching this movie and really falling in love with it. So I'm going to give Minari a solid 9 out of 10. I truly cannot wait for this film to be more widely available for everybody to watch, because I really feel like everybody who watches this film will enjoy it. I don't know how much you'll love it, but it would just be really odd to hear that somebody watched this film and didn't enjoy it. I would be questioning if you even have a soul at that point. I'm just joking. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, even if it's detrimentally incorrect. Anyways, if you really liked what I had to say about Minari, please give this video a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.